This is the Horse Radio Network.
This is episode number 9 of the Wisdom by WESA show on the Horse Radio Network. Our show today, the most comfortable handcrafted footwear. This is Mike Donnell.
This is Casey Wilbanks-Coletti.
And this is Sophia Aguila. Welcome to the Wisdom by WESA podcast on the Horse Radio Network.
This podcast is brought to you by the Western and English Sales Association, WESA, which provides the world's largest trade events for retailers, manufacturers, and sales representatives of the equestrian industry. In this podcast, we feature exclusive interviews with noteworthy Western and English personalities, retailers, and exhibitors who you've always wanted to talk to. Don't miss out on all the news for manufacturers and retailers in the equine industry. In this episode, we speak with Sophia about ways to engage on social media, and we chat with Sandy Brazil of Twisted X Boot Company about their special boot fitting. Hey, Sophia. So as WESA's marketing coordinator, what are some of the most common questions you might receive from exhibitors and retailers?
Most of the questions are about brand awareness and how both exhibitors and retailers can gain more brand recognition. Besides that, people also often ask how they can get in touch with someone that they have met during the WESA markets, which we can easily look up in our book that we publish each market.
And what are your recommendations for specific ways that you can help exhibitors and retailers to gain that brand awareness they're looking for?
Yeah, so we love to post about our members and retailers, and WESA is active on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram using WESA Trade Show. And if any of the WESA exhibitors or retailers out there are looking for any ways to gain brand awareness, they can just shoot me a quick email at sjagella@wesatradeshow.com, and I'll be happy to post about them. And of course, we also post about exhibitors during our actual market days, which is always a great way to gain awareness. But we also love to post about a brand's recent photo shoot, for example, or new products, or any other storyline during the year.
And what about before and after your show days?
Right. So before the show days or market days, I send out an email to all the exhibitors who will be attending that show and ask them if they have any featured product that they would like to advertise on our social media channels. They can then, for example, include giveaways or promos that I will mention so that retailers can make sure to stop by their booth. And we also invite a number of social media influencers. We call them the WESA Wranglers. And exhibitors can sign up to work with them one-on-one, which we always highly recommend because the influencers really have an established credibility and a large following on social media. So it's easy for them to engage with their followers and promote your product. And exhibitors can actually still sign up for the influencer opportunity for our upcoming January show.
Well, it sounds very beneficial to your exhibitors and retailers that you're so proactive and so available for them to reach out to you with this sort of help with brand awareness. As we all know, brand awareness is very important in what they are doing. So that's wonderful, and I'm sure it's a great benefit to them. Let's get to our guest today, Sandy Brazil.
Making sure a Western boot fits comfortably and properly is an important skill for a retailer and a critical purchasing decision for the customer. Wearing an ill-fitting boot all day on the ranch, at a rodeo, or just around town can be a painful experience. Our guest today, Sandy Brazil from Twisted X Boots, joins us to discuss what a proper fitting boot really means and how to make sure you sell or buy a pair. Hey, Sandy Brazil from Twisted X, welcome to Wisdom by WESA.
Thank you.
We have a little introduction that we had given earlier that basically, I'm sure is your mantra as well, saying making sure that a Western boot fits comfortably and properly is an important skill for a retailer and a critical purchasing decision for the customer. And we would assume that you would agree with that statement, and we'll use that to kick off our discussion.
Oh, yes. Nothing like a boot that doesn't fit. So let's talk about what's good about Twisted X in our fit.
Let's talk about that. Go right ahead and get it started.
Well, first, picture a boot in your head. I'll start from the top and work our way down. The tall part that goes over your leg is referred to as the shaft. and inside of that area is known as the throat. At the top of the shaft, there is usually either pull holes or pull tabs that you can put your fingers through to pull the boot on. Where the shaft meets the foot, the part that covers the top of your foot is the instep. The heel is at the rear of the foot, and the toe box is at the front. When you're trying on boots, you should put the boot on the floor and your fingers through the pull tabs or the pull holes. When you slide your foot in, you should meet a little bit of resistance at the heel area. With a little pull, your heel should pop into place. When you're walking in the boot, you should feel a little bit of slippage in the heel. That's normal and will eventually become less noticeable. The instep should be snug across the top of your foot, as this is what holds you into your boot. Your toes should feel comfortable, not too snug in the box, and not too much excessive room. At Twisted X, we build our boots on what's called a spade last. This is returning back to the ways that boots were made 50 to 60 years ago. This means that there is more room at the ball of the foot, but it's also designed to be snug in the instep. The heel is cupped to keep you in it, and this means that the fit will remain consistent throughout all of the styles, no matter the toe shape. Next, the insides. Across our styles, we use a carbon fiber insole board, and the carbon fiber is mold injected. It's cupped at the back for your heel to keep you in it so you don't slide off of it. This is unique to Twisted X. It helps provide the stability. And within the composite shank, there's also, it's graded by size. And the support of the shank means you can wear your boots comfortably all day. And the final element inside of our boots is the removable, machine washable, antibacterial, moisture wicking footbed. It's made from open cell foam. It's a Drylex top, open cell foam in the middle, and backed with nylon. This is removable and machine washable. The open cell foam traps and releases air with every step, and there's no better shock absorber than air. When you combine those elements with the highest quality in leathers, linings, and outsole materials, you end up with a Twisted X, the most comfortable footwear on the market today.
Sandy, let's talk about what all of that knowledge that you just provided us. Let's get down to the nuts and bolts on how that actually helps your retailers, because I would have to assume a retailer carrying your boot that can exemplify all of those things that you just told us, have that knowledge from the company Twisted X itself, and utilize that to fit your consumers. That has to be a huge selling point and a benefit to your retailers.
It is, and I think the thing that helps us the most is that we have such a mature sales force. They have what we call a component keychain with all of those components that I was telling you about, from the outsole to the shank to the footbed. They carry with them, and we also provide one of those to each of our retailers to use, so they can have training seminars with their sales force, and it helps a lot.
Oh, it absolutely would have to. I have worn cowboy boots for a large portion of my life, I can comfortably say, and it's very beneficial to me as a consumer of the product to have a comfortable boot and one that fits well, and having that knowledge and knowing it is a big part of it. But it also brings to mind something that maybe a lot of us wouldn't think about, not just ranchers or cowboys in the arena, but anybody that would like to wear your shoes or your cowboy boots. Having this knowledge would help, say, somebody that's diabetic. We know how important a good fitting shoe is and so I can think of a lot of different benefits it has to this knowledge that you're providing to your retailers and your consumers.
We've worked a lot of shows and tried to gather information from people from all walks of life, and we've had a lot of people come up to us after wearing a pair at a show, and one of our favorite things to do is to go ahead and put them in them and have them taken for a test drive. And I've had numerous people with either they have to wear orthotics or they have some kind of foot problem where they
Right.
can wear our shoes and not hurt their feet. So I'm
Right.
very proud of that fact that Bob Fraser, the founder and owner of the company, was adamant about making something that was good for people's feet. We're proud of
Right.
that.
Right. Absolutely. And not to mention you have shoes and boots for infants, kids, women, men. You have something for everybody. You have outdoor wear, you have work footwear, you have casual wear. I love anything with fringe on it, which you guys have done some wonderful fall fashions and fall colors. And there's really just a large option that you guys are providing.
We do have a large selection. We do Western cowboy boots. We have an extensive work line that consists of not only steel toe, composite toe, and alloy toe, but we have infants that we start at size 2 and go through size 8, and we do a youth footwear, both casuals and cowboy boots, and then of course adults for men and women. And we're covering a lot more areas than we ever have, and we've really branched out into a lot of different areas and having success in most of them. So very nice.
And having all those options is really great for your retailers because there's such a wide range of options from you just named all of them. You can go fashion forward, or you can go the gentlemen that work outside, work construction, need the steel toe. So I think that's a really huge benefit to your retailers, having such a wide variety of options.
It is. We're branching out, and in fact in January we'll be introducing a brand new technology. So we're excited about that. We'll have more information out in that probably November and December, leading up to the Denver market in January, and we'll be showing this line with a brand new technology. Right now, it's only available in our casual shoes, but we are working on it to be something that we could transfer over into Western cowboy boots.
Great.
Well, and that brings up the point, as you are and your designers are coming up with new styles, I take it the design still has to accommodate all of the features that you talked about at the opening of the interview.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Because something else that Bob has stuck to is that we will not change the insides of our footwear. We will stay with that carbon fiber shank and the removable footbed and all of those parts. We won't compromise any of that comfort, and that goes across the board for Twisted X.
Well, and another thing I thought interesting, if you go to the internet and put in Twisted X and boot fitting, there's a great little video that shows a lot about what you just said. And so that would be important for people who want to brush up on what they want to ask if they're going as a shopper or somebody who's selling it, to go back and take a look at that video. But it was a very informative video. It helped me as you were walking us through the various construction aspects of your boots.
Great.
So anyhow, I think all of the retailers who listen to our show will learn a lot about the right way to fit a boot. Anybody in the industry who wears boots, not just the consumer who's going to wear them for work or for leisure, but everybody who wears boots as part of their living is going to want to know exactly what can be the most comfortable fit to get them through every day, all day.
Yes, I agree, Mike.
So anyway, well, I thank you for coming on the show. Sophia had learned something about your approach to fitting and mentioned to me and said, we ought to get Twisted X on. And I called, and Amber said Sandy would be great. Of course, Sandy and I have known each other for many, many years. I was excited that you were going to be doing this, and you did a great job.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you reached out to us. I'm glad we could do it, Mike. Thank you.
Well, thank you for the time.
You bet. Talk to you soon.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
The show notes and links from today's show can be found at the website wisdombywesa.com. And of course, we'd love to hear any feedback you might have. There's a contact link on that same website.
The Wisdom by WESA show will be published on the 15th and 30th of every month. You can listen on most of your favorite podcast players. You can also listen on the Horse Radio Network app on your iOS or Android phone. You just search Horse Radio Network in the App Store. It's free and it's super easy to use. Make sure to visit all the great shows on the Horse Radio Network at horseradionetwork.com. Thanks for listening to the Wisdom by WESA podcast. WESA, where the industry meets.